Good evening, good evening. This is Marie Holiday, and today is Saturday, January the 30th, 2021. And I hope everybody's having a fabulous weekend. And before we get started in today's lecture, this evening lecture, please hit that subscribe button and hit that notification button and support and subscribe to my channel. And with that being said, and also share my information to one person you know. And with that being said, let's get down to this evening lecture. This is the lecture is going to be on traditional job versus the gig society part 2. Traditional job versus the gig society part 2. I did an upload yesterday on traditional job versus gig society part 1. Please check out that video. And with that being said, let's get down to business. Traditional job versus gig society. Number one pointer I want to point out is when you have a traditional job, a full-time traditional job. You know, I have a full-time traditional job. And one of the things that companies do is the company will match your contributions to 401. You know, I work for the state, so with the money that is taken out in my 401 every month, the state matches that contribution. So versus when you are an independent contractor or work for yourself or have your own business, you must invest into your own 401 or our individual retirement accounts, because if you do not, I'm here to tell you, you're going to set yourself up for financial failure as you head towards retirement and reach retirement age. You're not going to have any retirements to fall back on. And then also, if you're not having money taken out for Social Security, if you are an independent contractor, or have your own business, when you reach retirement age, you don't even have no Social Security. Versus when you work for a company or organization, they're taking money out of your check every month for Social Security, etc. So that's a big difference right there in terms of the traditional versus the gig society. I'm going to use myself as an example. You know, I have 3.5 years left before I retire from the state. And when I retire, I will get a pension for the rest of my life. I'm actually going to get a couple of retirement checks for the rest of my life, not counting Social Security. And that's definitely a big advantage from traditional job versus the gig society. Number two, in terms of traditional versus gig society, with a lot of companies and corporations, if you're a full-time employee, another fringe benefit that I have used throughout my career, the company will offer tuition reimbursement for their employees. They will offer tuition reimbursement, so that means you can return back to school and get your degree, and because of that tuition reimbursement, you're not going in debt for school loans to better yourself professionally. Versus if you own your own business or you're an independent contractor, if you want to go to school and get a degree, you're going to have to 100% fund that yourself or take out school loans and get in debt. So that's a big difference right there in terms of traditional job versus the gig society. Number three pointer, in terms of the versus the job or traditional job versus the gig society, is with a lot of companies. Even with my job, I work for the state, or a lot of companies, employees, depending on their position, they can have access to the company vehicle, or they can have access to the company vehicle depending on their position. You know, in my role as a supervisor, I have access to the company vehicle based on what location I may have to drive to. Versus if you own your own business or you're an independent contractor, you got to use your own personal vehicle. You know, the wear and tear on your car, gas, etc. depending on depending on your business, you may have to purchase another vehicle specifically for that business. So that's another big difference right there. Number four, in terms of traditional job versus the gig society, um, it depending on what position you have with a traditional job or what your title is, or when you're doing company traveling, the organization of the company, they're going to pay all those travel expenses, the plane fare, the motel, when you're going on these business related travels in relation to the essential functions on your job, on a traditional job, versus if you have your own business, or if you are an independent contractor, and you may have to interface with people in different states, or go to certain meetings with other stakeholders out of town. So that bill is on you. That travel expense is on you. The plane fare is on you, if you're in a situation like that. So again, those are many differences between the traditional job versus the gig society. And like I said, each person have to figure out a way to strike a balance. I'm not saying that just because a person is making a living from the gig society or being an independent contractor, that it can't be done. But make sure you're wise in doing due diligence with all that money that you're making as an independent contractor or your own business owner. Make sure you're investing into your retirement, 401s, IRA accounts. Make sure you're paying into Social Security. Make sure you're paying your taxes. Make sure you're purchasing health insurance, medical insurance, dental insurance for yourself and your family. Make sure you're managing that money as an independent contractor or a business owner, because if not, you can set yourself up for financial destruction later on down the line. So again, I hope the audience got something out of this. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, to hit that notification button, pass this information along in regards to the traditional job versus the gig society. So that's all I have. Simplify. I will see you all again next time.